guard, a 6-foot senior, number 20, Jacob Eldridge. Their leading scorer is number 30. He's a 6'1 junior, Torrey Niz, scores 10.7 points per game. Number 40 is Tyler Whetstone. He's a 6'2 sophomore. Number 42, Chase Dutra, a 6'1 freshman. And rounding out the starting lineup is their center, a 6'5 senior, one of two players at 6'5. He wears number 44, Curtis Runyon. Runyon is their second leading scorer, 10.3 points per game, and their leading rebounder at 5.2 rebounds per game. Now for the Jeff Broncos. At power forward, a 6'4 sophomore, number 11, Rashad Richardson. A 5'11 junior guard, number 22, Nick Stacy. One of two seniors on this roster, number 24, Roddy Richardson. He's a 6'1 senior guard. Number 50, Jason Washington, is a 6'4 junior center. And rounding out the starting lineup for the Broncos is number 32, Jesse Berry. He's a 6'1 senior. And as we mentioned already, just has to score 18 points tonight to break the school record for scoring, held by Richie Hamill with 1,457. That's how many Hamill has. So that'll be an interesting development throughout the night, guys.
Definitely, as we have both teams coming out on the floor, getting introduced by Omar Masudi. And DJ, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you for an in-depth analysis of what you think is going to be the key for both teams tonight in this game.
Jesse Berry is a 3-year letter winner in basketball with a current 3-year varsity record of 54 and 15. Major team accomplishments include 2008 HCC championship, 2008 sectional championship, 2007, 2008, and 2009 JNC Hoops Classic championship. Major individual accomplishments include school record for most points scored in a game with 55, school record for most points scored in a single season with 628, 17 points away from the school record for all-time leading scorer. HCC All-Conference sophomore and junior years, 2008 underclassmen All-State, 2009 junior All-Star and All-State, 2008 and 2009 JNC Hoops Classic MVP, 2010 Hoosier Basketball Magazine preseason first team All-State, and 2010 All-Star and Mr. Basketball candidate. Roddy Richardson is a 3-year letter winner in basketball with a current 3-year varsity record of 54 and 15. Major team accomplishments include 2008 HCC championship, 2008 sectional championship, 2007, 2008, and 2009 JNC Hoops Classic championships. Major individual accomplishments.
Jump the ball. Both teams set.
Referee Joe Bauer ready to throw the ball up.
And the tip is controlled by the Broncos. Roddy Richardson has the ball, coming up the court, gets it over to Jesse Berry. Berry swings it to Roddy. Roddy going to take an early three, off the mark and rebounded by Runyon.
I don't think that's the look the Broncos wanted early, but I guess Roddy thought so and took the quick three.
Now we have a foul called early as Runyon had the ball, bringing it up the court. Foul's going to be on the Broncos, and they're going to get, or no, I'm sorry.
That's an offensive
foul.
I believe they're going to get a moving screen.
I think that's something that Jesse Berry does really great is he draws fouls a lot.
That's a good point. As the foul was on, I believe number 44. Well, there was a miscommunication. They said number 45. There is no number 45 on the Brownsburg roster.
It was 44. Yeah, it was 44 Runyon. So Runyon, their top rebounder, picks up a foul early in this game. Nick Stacy can inbound the ball for the Broncos. Gets it to Jesse Berry. Berry bringing it up the court. Guarded by number 40, Tyler Wethouse. Berry under the basket to Rashad Richardson. Rashad lost control of the ball, but it went out of bounds. Last touch by number 30 for the Bulldogs, Torrey Nibbs. So the Broncos will retain possession. Stacy inbounds the ball to Berry. Berry being guarded heavily by number 22, Roach, as he takes a three-point shot off the mark, but rebounded by Jason Washington. Washington now gets it to Berry. Berry again on the attack. They're guarding him quite heavily, so he'll kick it out to Stacy. Stacy takes a three-point shot from the wing and off the mark. So not two back-to-back bad looks for the Broncos to start this game. Now Eldridge with the ball, gets it over to Runyon. Back out to Levi Roach. And now in the corner, Tyler Wethouse is going to take a three-point shot off the mark and rebounded by Rashad Richardson. Still scoreless in this game, a minute in, as Jesse Berry brings the ball up the court. Going to be double-teamed in the corner, so he'll get it to Stacy. Stacy takes a long three-point shot from the top of the key and gets the Broncos on the board.
That's a good job by the Broncos scoring on that 2-3 zone that the Brownsburg Bulldogs set up, and Nick Stacy found a hole in that and scored the open three. And then a miscommunication as number 30, Nibbs, looked for a cutting number 40, Whetstone, and threw it out of bounds.
That was great ball movement also by the Broncos.
Good ball movement by Berry to get him open for the three. Berry has control of the ball right now. He's bringing it up the court, just now across top court. He's going to be double-teamed again, so he'll get to Stacy. Stacy nearly has the ball stripped, but manages to come up with it. Now he dribbles around Eldridge, over to Berry. Berry drains a 15-foot jumper from the baseline.
Those are his first 2 points of the night, now just 16 shy of breaking the school record.
Now number 20, Eldridge on the attack. He gets it to Roach. Roach with the ball to Nibbs. Nibbs, little fake move around Roddy Richardson. Puts the ball up, couldn't finish, rebounded by Richardson. And the Brownsburg Bulldogs are yet to score in this game. Now a long pass up to Stacy. Stacy going to kick it out to Roddy Richardson. Roddy takes a three from the top of the key off the mark, rebounded by Runyon. Now Eldridge with the ball, coming up the court for the Bulldogs. Gets it to number 40, Whetstone. Over to Nibbs, now to Runyon. Runyon, a three-point shot from the top of the key, is off the mark, but somehow rebounded by Nibbs. There were no Broncos in the area, so poor job on the defensive boards by the Broncos. Nibbs swings it over to Eldridge. Eldridge to the top of the key to Runyon again. Runyon fakes the three, goes inside and kicks it out to Eldridge. And now a shot put up by Roach is off the mark and rebounded by Richardson. So the Brownsburg Bulldogs being very patient in their offensive attack, but yet to score. As Jesse Berry drives towards the basket and going to be fouled. I believe they're going to call the foul on the floor.
Fouls on the floor as he went to drive to the basket.
Just as I mentioned earlier, he likes to draw those fouls a lot.
That's one thing he's very good at, is driving to the hoop and getting contact and going to the free throw line. That's one of Jesse's really strengths, as well as shooting from the perimeter. He's such an explosive scorer from the outside as well.
Nick Stacy set to inbound the ball for the Broncos, gets it to Roddy Richardson. Roddy with a little move around Eldridge, puts up a shot off the backboard, off the mark and rebounded by Roach. Roach gets it now to Nibbs, and Nibbs trying to drive in, loses the ball. It looked like it went out of bounds, last touch by him, but apparently Roddy Richardson nipped it on its way out. So the Brownsburg Bulldogs will retain possession.
Roddy attempted to steal it, and it just tipped it out of bounds near the Broncos student section. Very big student section for the Broncos tonight, as I believe, as I'm sure they're on hand, they want to see Jesse break the scoring record.
Eldridge with a lob pass now to Runyon, and Runyon scores right over Jason Washington. So an automatic pass gets them on the board with their first 2 points of the night.
Great inbounds pass by Brownsburg to find the open Runyon.
Now foul called on Runyon as his momentum carried him into Rashad Richardson, who was on the wing. That's Runyon's second foul in this game, and we're only 3 minutes and 10 seconds in, so they're going to have to watch that as he is their leading rebounder.
That could be a key loss for the Bulldogs if they lose their leading rebounder.
And Alan Paddock, a 6'3" senior, will replace him, and I'm sure Runyon will take a seat for a while with 2 early fouls.
Rashad Richardson inbounds the ball to Barry. Barry now driving, draws off the defenders, kicks it to a wide-open Rashad Richardson. Rashad doesn't take the shot, instead gives it to Nick Stacy. Stacy with a spin move at the top of the key. Almost loses the handle, so he gets it to Rashad Richardson. Rashad coming around the top and is fouled.
They're going to get that foul on Roach, and there was a lot of contact as Rashad looked to drive into the lane.
Well, 3 early fouls for the Brownsburg Bulldogs. The Broncos have yet to commit a foul. Score is 5-2 right now with 4:35 left in the first quarter.
Another substitution.
Number 34, Scott Hathaway. I'm sorry.
Now the inbounds pass to Barry. Barry tries to shake and bake, can't go anywhere with it, so he gets to Stacy. Stacy to Rashad Richardson. Now a lob pass over to Barry. Barry going to take a ridiculously long three and drains it. Oh my gosh.
That's an NBA range three from the F and Jeff. That's on the Crawley Center floor.
Barry with 5 points now and leading the Broncos in scoring.
That's right.
As Nibbs in transition tried to score quickly over Rashad Richardson, Rashad blocked it. Then there was a scramble for the ball. It went out of bounds, and the referee signaled last touch by the Broncos.
Substitution for the Bulldogs, number 40, Tyler Whetstone.
Yep. Whetstone is a 6'2" sophomore, originally in the starting lineup tonight.
Re-enters this game as Brownsburg looks to inbound it. Inbounds pass from Kirk Weathers goes now to Eldridge. Eldridge from the top of the key going to take a three and gets the shooter's roll into the bucket.
A lucky roll right there. Now halfway through the first quarter, Brownsburg trails 8-5.
Barry on the attack. Brownsburg in a 2-3 zone against the Broncos. Barry gets it over to Stacy. Stacy with a nice fake pass, takes a three-point jumper, but off the mark and rebounded by Hathaway. Now a pass in transition up to Paddock. Paddock with a ridiculous reverse layup gets it to fall off the glass, and suddenly it's just a 1-point lead for the Broncos at 8-7.
That's right. Brownsburg's done a good job of slowing down the tempo and holding the Broncos just 8 points so far.
Barry now gets to Stacy. Stacy to Richardson in the corner. Richardson going to drive in, elevates, can't get the bucket to fall as he put up a shot, and it's rebounded by Whetstone. Whetstone now to Eldridge, bringing it up the court. Gets it to Whetstone again. Now to Weathers. As we mentioned, Brownsburg very patient in their ball movement. In the corner, Paddock holds the ball and gets it back out to Hathaway.
This is a slow tempo we mentioned. They're just going to want to slow it down and keep the Broncos from getting the ball.
Hathaway tried to pass into the paint. It was stolen by Rashad Richardson. Rashad comes up the court, and a palming call.
Yeah, they're going to get him carrying the basketball in transition. So that's a turnover for the Broncos, and now Colin Belting's got to check into this game.
Let's see how the Bulldogs do off this turnover, see if they can can get some buckets here.
That's right.
Well, they only trail by 1 point, 8-7, with 2:48 left in the first quarter.
Belting will come in for Washington. Belting is a 6-foot junior.
Broncos going to put a little pressure in the backcourt, but the Bulldogs get through it relatively easily. Get it up to Hathaway now. Hathaway into the basket. Kicks it out to Weathers. Weathers now to Hathaway. Hathaway drains a free throw line shot to put the Brownsburg Bulldogs ahead. 9-8 is your score in this one. 2:20 left in the first quarter. Barry now with the ball. From the elbow, going to put up a three-point shot and drains it. So Barry doing a lot for the Broncos early in this game. He already has, I believe, 8 points.
8 of the Broncos' first 11.
Jesse's now 2 for 3 from three-point range.
Well, he can get hot. And now a pass in transition to Weathers. And Weathers airballs a three for the Bulldogs. Jesse Berry again up the court. Gets it to Stacy. Stacy takes a three-point shot from the corner, off the mark, and rebounded by Weathers. Weathers now to Eldridge. Eldridge pass in transition over the head of Tyler Whetstone, 6'2", sophomore, and out of bounds. So the Broncos will take over.
The leading scorer for the Bulldogs will check back in. Corey Nibbs comes back in. He's a 6'1" junior, and he'll check in for number 14, Kirk Weathers.
With that three, Jesse Berry moves within 10 points of breaking the school record.
So I will most likely see a historic event tonight as Berry, the man of the night, gets it over to Roddy Richardson. Roddy under the basket. Ball dances around the rim and finally falls, and Roddy gets 2 points for the Broncos. That extends the lead to 13-9 for the Broncos. 1:22 left in the first quarter. Some good ball movement now to a wide-open Eldridge under the basket. Gets it way up the fall.
Great backdoor cut and a great pass to Eldridge to get the layup.
Barry over to Richardson. Richardson going to take a long three-point jumper off the mark. Richardson has taken 3 or 4 threes tonight, guys, and he's gotten good looks at all of them, but hasn't been able to get them to fall. And now, under the basket, Roddy Richardson strips Nibbs of the ball. However, it went out of bounds.
Now I believe they're going to call Richardson for a foul. Never mind, it's just going to be out of bounds.
Yeah, that's touched by Richardson, so the Bulldogs will just inbound it. The Broncos have yet to commit a foul in this game, while the visiting Bulldogs have 4. As the inbounds pass goes to Paddock. Paddock over to Eldridge. And Eldridge now to Hathaway. Hathaway to Nibbs in the corner, guarded by Stacy. Hathaway going to drive, has it stripped by Jesse Berry. Berry accelerating up the court and is fouled on his way to the basket. They're going to call it on the floor. So Nick Stacy will inbound along the baseline.
And Barry says he was shooting on that, and it looked like he was. That's the 15th foul on Brownsburg as they call it on the floor, so the Broncos will have an inbound. Barry was in transition and went to lay it in, but it was stripped of the ball. I'm surprised they didn't call a foul. Inbounds
pass now goes to Barry. Barry on the wing. Fake move. Goes in. Puts up a shot off the mark, but he's fouled, and this time it is in the act of shooting. So he will go to the line for 2 shots.
Pump fake in the corner and then drove baseline. That's another one of his great moves. Drew the contact and now go to the line to shoot 2.
That was Jesse Berry just drew 2 straight fouls there, and now he's at the free throw strike.
Well, 6 fouls in this game for the Bulldogs, as Barry's first shot from the charity stripe up and no good.
That's something that we don't see very often. Barry's one of the better free throw shooters in the conference. I believe he's at 79% on the season.
As 6'5" senior for the Bulldogs, Runyon checks back into this game after 2 early fouls. And Barry's second shot from the free throw line is good.
Now into the lineup, 5'7" junior R.J. Layton. He will come in for Barry. Barry has scored 9 points in the first quarter. Layton is known for his defense, and I'm sure he'll be in for the last 37 seconds.
As inbounds pass goes to Hathaway. Full court pressure by the Broncos again. Handled pretty easily by Eldridge. Eldridge with a bounce pass over to Nibbs. Nibbs now in the corner to Whetstone. Under the basket to Runyon, and Runyon is swatted by Nick Stacy, who now comes up the court on the attack. 16 seconds left in the first quarter. Stacy dribbling around the perimeter. Gets it to Roddy Richardson. Richardson over to Rashad. Rashad takes a three-point shot and nails it.
Well, that three there is going to be big.
Eldridge comes up the court now with 3 seconds left, puts up a shot, and it goes, but he's fouled, and it looks like they're going to call the foul on the floor.
They're going to call a foul on R.J. Layton on the floor. That's the first foul on the Broncos, but I was going to say that three is going to be big for momentum if the Broncos can hold Brownsburg scoreless for the last 3 seconds.
Well, absolutely, as Eldridge is under the basket now, set to inbound the ball for the Bulldogs. 3 seconds left, gets it right under the basket to Runyon. Runyon puts up a layup, off the mark, rebounded by Colin Belting, and that concludes your first quarter. At the end of the quarter, 17-11 is your score. The Lafayette Jeff Broncos on top. Jade Washburn alongside Sam Rumsa and DJ Witteveen as we kick off second quarter action. The Brownsburg Bulldogs inbound the ball to their point guard, Eldridge. And Eldridge gets the ball to Nibbs, their top scorer. Nibbs now over to Hathaway. Hathaway to Eldridge again on the corner. Takes the drive, going to kick it back out to Nibbs at the top of the key to reset things for the Bulldogs. Nibbs to Hathaway. Hathaway now to Whetstone. Whetstone to Eldridge. Eldridge turns around, takes about a 12-foot jumper from the paint, off the mark and rebounded by Nick Stacy. Nick Stacy running point right now, brings it up the court, and just drains a shot right inside the arc for the Broncos.
Good
scoring going.
Good transition bucket for the Broncos.
That's right. And a 30-second timeout by Brownsburg, so we'll go ahead and keep it here. DJ, you have an interesting tidbit.
55 last year in a double overtime win at Fishers, so he's perfectly capable of breaking not only the school but the county record in tonight's game.
Current lineup for the Broncos is Courtney Walden, Roddy Richardson, Rashad Richardson, R.J. Layton, and Colin Belting.
Brownsburg inbounds the ball. In transition, they get it up to Nibbs. Nibbs going to put up a shot, and off the mark, rebounded by Belting. That was a rather quick shot for the Brownsburg Bulldogs, and we're not used to seeing that. Now up the court to Belting. Belting going to take a three-point shot from the top of the key, so just as quick a shot for the Broncos.
I don't think that's a shot the Broncos wanted to take, a three-point shot in transition.
As Nibbs drives into the lane in transition, puts the shot up, it was off the mark, but I believe they're going to call the foul that was committed on the floor anyway. And they do. The call is on Colin Belting. That's his first foul of the game. And now some substitutions back into this game. Jesse Berry re-enters for R.J. Layton and Jason Washington for Rashad Richardson.
Colin Belting is actually a pretty good rebounder for his size. He actually gets up and gets those boards for the Broncos.
That's a good point. It's just 6 feet. You wouldn't expect him to be a good rebounder, but he is.
As Hathaway now with the ball, the inbound pass at the top of the key. Passes it to Courtney Walden right under the basket for the Broncos.
And Barry almost loses the pass from Walden.
Barry maintains the ball, so he'll come up the court now. Double team, gets it to Courtney Walden in the corner. Courtney takes a three off the mark, rebounded by Roddy Richardson under the basket. Hesitates, puts up the bucket, and gets it.
That's Courtney's spot. Is in the corner, but he couldn't connect on that one. And Rashad was there for the rebound.
And now a steal in transition by Colin Belting. Gets it to Roddy Richardson, who brings it right back up the floor. 21-11 your score in this one. And under the basket, Jason Washington receives the pass from Roddy Richardson and is fouled on his way up to the basket. So he will go to the line for 2 shots.
Coming into the game for the Bulldogs, number 24, Jordan Reagan. And
one more substitution we can't see right now, and the substitute will come in after this first shot by Jason Washington.
Washington from the line. First shot on its way and good.
In the lineup for the Bulldogs is Kyle Clifton, a 6-foot senior, and Jordan Reagan, a 6'2" sophomore. A lot of substitutions we've seen by Coach Kendrick for the Bulldogs tonight.
Looks like he's trying to mix around the defense, trying to see who can put a stick on Jesse Berry.
That's right.
Second free throw up and no good by Jason Washington. Rebound by Nibbs, and Nibbs controls the ball at half court. Gets a screen up top from number 32, Paddock. Now gets in the corner to Paddock. Nibbs over to number 24, Jordan Reagan. Takes a three-point shot off the mark, rebounded by Roddy Richardson. Now to Jason Washington. Jason goes up, nearly dunks the ball, but just lays it in off the glass and extends the Bronco lead to 24-11 with 5:45 left in the first half.
Well, they went all the way to the other end. Nibbs got fouled by Roddy there, but Roddy in transition is a 3-on-2. Looks right at Courtney Walden to pass it to Jason. Jason almost dunked it, but just laid it in. And we've seen him miss some dunks this season.
It really looks like Jason Washington injured his wrist. He was out earlier this season with a broken wrist, and it seems as though he re-injured that.
Well, I'm not sure where that happened. He is clutching himself right now as the first shot from the charity stripe by Nibs is good for the Bulldogs.
That's not good to see. Still got a brace on that wrist, and he'll sit down and be looked at by Jeff Clevenger's Jeff Athletic Trainer.
Hopefully it's just a little irritation. He'll be able to come back into this game and continue to contribute on the board.
Nibs hit his first free throw, and the second one is up and good as well.
Courtney Walden hustles over to the baseline to inbound the ball for the Broncos and gets it to Barry. Barry, incoming up the court, going to be double teamed at half court. Shuffles through it and gets it to Walden. Walden now with a pass over to Roddy Richardson, who steps out of bounds trying to control the ball. And a turnover there for the Broncos.
Looks like the Bulldogs are trying to shut down Jesse Berry this second quarter. Sorry.
That's right.
He already has 9 points on the night. And as explosive as a scorer as he is, that is shutting him down somewhat. As Eldridge with the ball at the top of the key for the Bulldogs. Couple spin moves, gets it under the basket to Paddock, who gets an uncontested layup. Great pass there. Now a great pass from Barry over to Walden. Walden inside to Rashad Richardson. Can't finish the layup, and just going to be rebounded under the basket by Eldridge. Eldridge in transition nearly loses the ball. He dumps it off to Clifton, number 12, Clifton for the Bulldogs. And Colin Belting grabs a rebound as Torrey Nibs couldn't finish his bucket.
Just as we said earlier, Colin Belting really gets on those rebounds.
Great fake by Roddy Richardson off the wing, drove baseline, and was fouled. Yet to get an indication from the referees, but I believe he was fouled in the act of shooting.
Yeah, it was in the act of shooting. That will be I believe that will be the 8th team foul on the Bulldogs, and the Broncos have just 3 team fouls. So Roddy at the free throw line with 2 free throws, an opportunity to soon lead to 26-15, as the Broncos right now lead 24-15. The substitutions.
Number 40, Tyler Wethouse in for the Bulldogs, and number 10, R.J. Layton.
Westone comes in for the Bulldogs, while 5'7" junior R.J. Layton comes back in for the Broncos.
Roddy Richardson at the charity stripe. Shot up and no good. It was called on the floor apparently because he just missed it, and now they're playing the ball live, so it was a 1-and-1 that he missed the front end of. Eldridge has the ball now for the Bulldogs. Gets it inside to Nibs, nearly stolen by Roddy Richardson. Nibs with a turnaround goes off the support of the basket, but Eldridge is there for the putback under the basket. Nobody saw him swooping in.
Jesse Berry is scoreless this quarter for the Broncos.
He's double teamed in the backcourt.
He gets it over to R.J. Layton. Layton to Colin Belting, who gets it to Roddy Richardson. Roddy into the basket. Can't finish his layup, but again is fouled, this time in the act of shooting, so he'll go to the line for 2.
And that is the 9th team foul on the Bulldogs, so they've really got to watch their foul trouble. I know that number 44, Runyon, has 2 fouls.
Yeah, and we haven't seen him in this game. He's been a non-factor. He grabbed a couple of boards early, but as we mentioned, both those fouls were early.
It looked as though the Brownsburg coaches wanted a charge there.
That's right.
As Roddy Richardson makes his first free throw. Nick Stacy re-enters the game for R.J. Layton. Richardson eyes and flies his second shot, and nothing but net. So Richardson cashes in on both of those. Inbounds pass to Nibs. Nibs brings it up the court for the Bulldogs. On the attack, dribbles around the perimeter with a nice pass inside to Eldridge. And Eldridge gets the bucket.
That's something we've seen already as a backdoor cut. The Princeton offense is what the Brownsburg Bulldogs run, and that uses backdoor cuts, and the Bulldogs have utilized that so far early.
Rashad Richardson gets it over to Nick Stacy. Stacy to Colin Belting. Belting takes a 3 and airballs it from the wing off the mark. Belting's missed a couple tonight.
That's right.
Nibs in transition, brings it up, rises in paint, and gets another shot to fall. So Nibs has scored the last 4 points.
Good transition bucket for the Bulldogs.
As Stacy now with the ball, going to be fouled under the basket on the floor, but nevertheless he will go to the line for 2 shots, as the Brownsburg Bulldogs are already in the double bonus, guys.
And now, Stacy will be shooting 2 as Coach Josh Kendrick gives instruction to number 12, Kyle Clifton. Kendrick is 73 and 59 in his 6th year at Brownsburg, and that includes the state championship a couple years ago.
Stacy, first shot from charity stripe, good. Extends the lead to 6 for the Broncos, 27-21 with 3:19 left in the first half.
Washington comes back in for the Broncos. He replaces Belting.
Good to see that Washington wasn't hurt. Stacy, second shot on its way, and good. So Stacy gets both those free throws.
That extends Bronco lead of 27-21, 3:15 to go here in the first half.
Kirk Weathers inbounds the ball to Nibbs. Nibbs gets it over to Eldridge. Eldridge dribbles through a little pressure by the Broncos, going to go right to the basket. Layup is off the mark, but a foul called on Jason Washington, who just checked into this game. So that'll be the fourth team foul recorded for the Broncos, and the first foul for Washington.
It looks as though Scott Funnell, the Broncos coach, is trying to switch up defenses to see how the Brownsburg offense handles it.
That's a good point.
As Eldridge drains the first free throw.
Number 34, Scott Hathaway will be replacing the shooter after this shot if Eldridge makes it.
Eldridge dribbling the ball at the line. Second shot on its way, and good.
So two substitutions. Hathaway, a 6'2 junior, and number 32, Alan Paddock, a 6'3 senior, comes into the game.
As Coach Bono giving some instructions to his sophomore, Rashad Richardson, and Nick Stacy inbounds the ball to Barry, gives it right back to Stacy. Stacy brings it up the court, over to Roddy Richardson. Some tremendous pressure put on by Nibbs on Roddy Richardson, so he'll get it to Barry immediately.
That was a good call as Barry traveled as he went into the lane, as he tried to attack the lane.
Jesse Barry, still with 9 points, has been shut out this second quarter by the Brownsburg Bulldogs.
Good defense put on by the Bulldogs in the second quarter.
Nibbs coming up the court now. Pro hop in the lane, gets the bucket to fall, but they're not going to count it. However, he was fouled by number 24, Roddy Richardson, for the Broncos. That's his second foul in this game and the team's fifth. And now Nibbs comes over to the baseline to inbound the ball for the Bulldogs.
Coach Kendrick not happy at all with his players or the referees as they look to set up a play.
Nibbs inbounds the ball, gets it directly to Hathaway. Hathaway puts up a shot and off the mark. Roddy Richardson gets it up court in transition to his brother Roddy. Roddy puts a shot up under the bucket. It's off the mark, but he's fouled.
That was a baseball pass to Richardson, and Richardson was fouled hard by number 12, Kyle Clifton. They could have called that an intentional foul as he was holding the hand of Richardson to prevent him from getting an easy layup. So now Richardson, who's one of the best free throw shooters in the conference, will go to the line for two.
Yeah, he is the best free throw shooter on the team, with the exception of Courtney Walden, who's only taken 4 shots on the season and made all of them. Richardson, I believe, at 83%, drains the first one.
2 substitutions for the Bulldogs. Number 14, Kirk Weathers, and number 20, Jacob Eldridge.
After Richardson made his first, he lines up for the second. Broncos lead 29-23 as he misses the second one. That's not something that happens very often.
Rebound by Alan Paddock, who gets it to Nibbs. Nibbs in transition. Tries a little shake and bake pass Stacy. Doesn't work, so he'll get it to Hathaway at the top of the key. Now to Eldridge. Eldridge to wide open Nibbs under the basket. The Broncos quickly swarm to him, and he is fouled.
Well, Nick Stacy tried to get the ball from behind Nibbs, but they called a foul on him, and Stacy thought it was all ball, but now Nibbs will get 2 shots as they call that a shooting foul.
There was that backdoor cut you mentioned earlier, Sam. They're really using that.
Nibbs from the charity stripe gets the first one to fall.
Brownsburg has hung in there. They're not going to get blown out tonight, at least in the first half. 29-24 is your score. There's 2:28 to go in the first half.
As Nibbs dribbles the ball at the free throw line. Eisen flies his second shot on the way and bounced off the front of the rim. No good. Rebounded by Roddy Richardson. So Richardson to Barry now. Barry on the attack. Shakes off Hathaway. He's double teamed. Gets it to Roddy Richardson. Roddy under the basket to Jason Washington. Jason puts a layup up. Doesn't finish it, but he drew some contact and will go to the line for 2 shots.
Well, it's just 2:17 to go in the half. We'll remind you of our halftime show. We'll have Journal and Courier Purdue basketball beat writer Jeff Washburn on air to discuss not only this game, but Purdue's basketball season so far and their game against Illinois tomorrow.
As Washington's first shot on its way and just does bounce out of the rim. No good.
Broncos really need to start hitting their free throws. They've been struggling lately from the charity strike.
And that is the 3rd foul on Weathers, so I'm sure we won't see him for a while as Whetstone comes back into the game for Brownsburg.
Washington's second free throw is nothing but net, and now Coach Bunnell takes a timeout, 30-second timeout, so we'll go ahead and keep it here. And guys, what's your take on
away from Central Catholic's Christoph Kendricks, Tippecanoe County record of 1,481. So that's going to be something interesting to see as the night progresses.
Back to the action as Eldridge inbounds the ball. Nibs in transition with a quick cut move in the lane. Nice look, but couldn't finish the basket, and it's rebounded by Jason Washington. Washington hands it off to Richardson. Rashad Richardson, who comes up the court, gets it right back to Washington, and Washington drains a shot just inside the wing of the three-point arc.
That's
so
a
good
jumper
look for him.
That's a jumper we see a lot, a 15-foot jumper from the baseline. That's Jason Washington, his specialty.
He really likes that shot a lot. I've seen him work on that in practice, and he seems to get that down.
And that's what he worked on a lot of his injury during the month of November and December, as now Hathaway drives into the lane, gets the bucket to fall and one, as they're going to call the foul on
Roddy Richardson.
So that's his third foul in this one. And I imagine that Coach Bunnell will be looking to substitute for him here in a bit.
Going on that Washington injury, I really think Colin Belton, the 6-foot sophomore for the Broncos, really stepped up during that injury and filled his place pretty well.
That's correct. And Hathaway completes the three-point play by making the free throw. And now Stacy inbounds the ball to Barry. Barry again going to be double-teamed near the half-court line, so he'll get it over to Stacy. Stacy with a cut move over to Jason Washington. It's a long pass and goes out of bounds.
Terrible pass by Nick Stacy in about the 5th row of the bleachers at the end on the baseline. So terrible turnover there as the Brownsburg press got to the Broncos.
That really wasn't the pass that the Broncos were looking for there, hoping scoring off that turnover.
Nibs crosses half court and gets it to Eldridge for the Bulldogs. 32-27 your score with 1:13 left in the first half. Is now the ball is lost under the basket by the Bulldogs and come up with by Jesse Berry. Berry going to take a long three from the top of the key, off the mark, and rebounded by Nibs.
That was a really forced shot by Jesse Berry. I really don't think they needed that.
I believe that was his first shot of the second quarter, as they've done a great job guarding him.
Nibs is double teamed by Stacy and Berry, so he'll get it over to Eldridge. 43 seconds left in the first half. Bulldogs look like they might just be holding for one as they're passing around the wide perimeter. Eldridge with the ball now. Near the corner, gets it to Nibs. Nibs near half court, just holding the ball.
Broncos in a 2-3 zone right now.
Gets it over to Hathaway, does Nibs. Now to Eldridge, back to Nibs. Nibs dribbles the ball near half court. And the Broncos aren't close enough for a 5-second call. Now Nick Stacy approaches him to get one as he hands it off to Eldridge. Eldridge is going to be double teamed near half court, so he'll get it over to Nibs. Nibs going to take a three-point shot off the mark, rebounded by Eldridge with a putback. Eldridge can't get it to go either. And Jason Washington, after fighting for the rebound, gets the ball right into the hands of Eldridge, who gets a lay in the fall as time expires in the first half. That brings the score to 32-29. What were you going to say, DJ?
That was a really big bucket for the Bulldogs, moving with.
And Nick Stacy will match Jesse Berry. We'll see how Berry does in the second half. Now gets it back to Nick Stacy, who will run the point. Man-to-man for the Bulldogs. Rashad Richardson in front of the Bronco bench. Gets it to his brother Roddy in the corner. Roddy's double teamed. That's not a good place to be double teamed. Throws it high lob pass back to Nick Stacy. Nick is going to drive into the lane and puts up a little runner. No good. Fight for the rebound by Eldridge. Eldridge up the floor, gets it to a cutting number 22, Levi Roach. And he got an easy layup there in transition. That cuts the lead to one.
Good pass there.
Yeah, great pass in transition by the Bulldogs. Now Stacy's going to be doubled, but now shakes off the double team. Now he's going to kick out to Jason, over to Rashad Richardson. Rashad going to take a three from the right wing. No good. Rebounded by Roddy Richardson. Roddy throws it up as he falls down, gets the basket to go. Wow. What a great basket there as he was falling down, got the rebound and just threw it up.
Great recovery and great balance by Roddy there.
Definitely. Eldridge running the point, gets it over to Roach. Roach inside to Nibs. Nibs goes up and he's going to get fouled. Score is 34-31. 1 minute down in the third quarter. There's 7 to go. Fouls on Jason Washington, his second. Team's first in the half. And Torrey Nibs will be shooting two.
Looks as though he lost control of the ball there. I didn't really see a foul.
I didn't either, DJ. Well, either way, Nibs is at the free throw line with an opportunity to cut the deficit to 1 point. and he converts on the first free throw. Nibs in the first half was just 2 of 10 from the field. Did end up scoring 7 points while having 4 rebounds.
Number 32, Alan Paddock, for the game for the Bulldogs.
That's right. He replaces Whetstone. And now Nibs, second free throw. No good. It was a knuckleball, it looked like. Washington with the rebound gets it to Jesse Berry, who will run the point. Jesse jogs up the floor. He's met by a double team. Going to drive right around him. Goes right into the lane. Lays it up off the glass. No good. And rebounded by Eldridge.
Looks as Berry got fouled there.
Yeah, Eldridge in transition. Going to put up a rudder. Counts the basket. Foul on Jason Washington. He stopped with a nice hesitation move. Fake. And went up. Foul on Jason Washington. And that's going to tie this game at 34. And now Eldridge will have an opportunity to give the Bulldogs the lead.
I really think the momentum is pushed towards the Bulldogs side. The Broncos have been pretty quiet in this opening second half.
That's the third foul on Washington, so Eldridge shoots the free throw, is good, and Colin Beltink will come back into the game for the Broncos.
Beltink, only 6 feet tall, replaces 6'4" center Jason Washington, but as we mentioned on the air, Beltink is fully capable of contributing rebounds to this Bronco team.
Berry going to bring the ball up the court now. His team trailing by 1 to 5-13 Brownsburg. It would be huge for Brownsburg to pull off the upset here at the Crawley Center. Rashad going to pull up from distance. No good. Rebounded by Nibs. Broncos are going to have to get better shots than that.
Richardson now 1 for 3 from three-point range.
Elder's going to take a 3-and hit. That gets the Bulldog bench on their feet. And that extends the lead to 38-34 for Brownsburg. Brownsburg holding tough. They're going to double Jesse. Gets it over to Roddy. Roddy doubled in front of the Bronco bench. Splits the double team. Going to go up. No good. Rebounded by Runyon. And Runyon gets up to Nibs. Nibs quickly up the floor now.
I believe this is Brownsburg's first lead of the game.
That's well. And now number 32, Paddock, inside to Nibs. Nibs going to drive around Rashad Richardson. Going to go up, lays it in, counts the basket. And it looked like a traveling violation there, but all the momentum in Brownsburg's hands is they've now got a 6-point lead. So Nibs will go to the line for 1 with an opportunity to extend it to 7. That would be huge if the Broncos could not recover and lose this game.
This is one of the lowest scoring games the Broncos have played all season. 40-34 is your current score with 5:56 left in the third quarter.
Well, this performance seems similar to last Thursday night where the Broncos played McCutcheon and only scored 56 points in that game. Thankfully, they came away with the victory, and hopefully we'll be able to win in this game. Berry going to try to split the double team. Gets it to Roddy Richardson. Roddy to Nick Stacy. Nick Stacy thought about taking the 3. He's going to dump it inside to Colin Beltink. Colin with a nice reverse layup and scores, ending a long scoring drought that cuts the Brownsburg lead to 5.
Great vision there by Nick Stacy looking for the open cut, and good cut by Colin Beltink for the score.
Excellent. Eldridge guarded by Berry as the Broncos are in a man-to-man right now. Eldridge going to dump it down to Paddock. Gives it back to Eldridge. Eldridge is going to spin around, goes baseline, no good. Rebounded by Nick Stacy. Brownsburg wanted to foul, but that was just a throw up there. As Coach Kendrick not happy. Now Berry going to drive to the other end, goes up and scores. Now he's got 11 points, and Coach Kendrick's going to take a 30-second timeout. Not happy with his team's performance in the last 2 possessions. Your score 41-38. We'll keep it here with the 30-second timeout. And Jade, what is champions? So 4A state champions. That team was led by Gordon Hayward, now a star at Butler, and this team a lot different from that team. As Jeff beat that team in the Crawley Center 72-69. And Brownsburg now, we're back on the court as Runyon gets the ball back to Eldridge. Eldridge closely guarded by Berry. Now over to Nibs. Nibs is doubled by both Richardsons. Nibs going to spin around, goes into the lane, and there's going to be a foul. It seemed like a push-off there on Nibs as he tried to drive to the basket, but no foul called on that. And however, a foul was called on the Broncos.
The Broncos are trying a new style of defense once again, trying to switch it around, see what can work against this Bulldogs offense.
Well, I believe they're going to call it on the floor. That's the second team. That's the second or fourth team foul. Second personal foul on Nick Stacy as the foul was on the floor. So Eldridge will be inbounding it underneath the Bulldogs basket. He looks to get it in, gets it to Paddock. Paddock almost stolen, gets it back to Eldridge. Eldridge just dribbles around the top of the key. Eldridge gets it off to Nibs. Nibs guarded by Rashad Richardson in a man-to-man. Now inside to Runyon. Runyon, and a pump fake goes up. No good, and he'll go to the line for 2 shots.
Foul going to be called on Colin Beltink as he leaps over the back of Runyon.
And that's Colin's second, team's 5th. And reverse of what we saw in the first quarter, the Broncos have 5 team fouls while Brownsburg has none. And in the first quarter, the Broncos only fouled like one time, I believe. So reverse of what we saw in the first quarter. Runyon is one of two players at 6'5" on the roster for Brownsburg. He is a senior, and his first free throw is up and good. That extends the lead to 42-38 for Brownsburg.
Runyon was out early with foul trouble. He had 2 fouls within the first 2 minutes of the game.
And now Runyon going to line up for his second free throw. 6'5" senior, takes his time, puts it up, and it is good. Pushes both of them. Now the lead is 5 for the Bulldogs. So Barry with 11 points on the night. He's going to get double teamed, gets off to Nick Stacy. They've double teamed him ever since that 9-point first quarter. Stacy going to go one-on-one with Eldridge, spins around. He's going to go up, no good. Rebounded by Runyon as there were no Broncos there to rebound it. Eldridge going to jog up the floor, pass in transition over to Paddock. Paddock going to lay it in. That's a 6-point lead now. Probably Coach Funwell's getting a timeout. And no, it's a 7-point lead, 45-38. So now Roddy Richardson in the lane. He is triple teamed, still goes up, and they're going to call traveling violation. Coach Funwell's going to get timeout. And it's going to be a full timeout, so we'll go ahead and take it with him. Your score 45-38. We'll take a 1-minute break and be back. You're listening to Bronco Basketball on Jeff 92. The Crawfordsville Athenians and Anderson Highland plays host to Fishers as we're ready for action as Brownsburg has the ball. Nibs will walk the ball up the court after getting the inbound from Eldridge. 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Broncos have played terribly in this quarter, and they trail 45-38 over the 5-13 Brownsburg Bulldogs. Eldridge over to number 22, Roach. Roach gets it back to Runyon. Runyon Nibs. Nibs double teamed. And now into the corner to Runyon. Runyon going to take a three. No good. Rebounded by Richardson. Roddy Richardson, that is. He'll get up to Jesse Berry. Berry scored only 11 points tonight after a 9-point first quarter. Roddy, and he's going to get fouled as he drove to the hoop by Roach. That foul's on the floor, and just the first foul of the third quarter for Brownsburg.
Into the game for the Bulldogs, number 40, Tyler Whetstone, and number 34, Scott Hathaway.
So now the Broncos have possession under their basket. Courtney Walden will look to get it in. He'll pass it into Barry, who almost gets his strip. And are they going to get a foul, or did he step on the out-of-bounds line? I believe they're going to get a foul.
Yep. Foul going to be called on
number 34, Scott Hathaway. That's his first team second of the half. 3:35 to go. Broncos trail by 7 in what has been a terrible third quarter.
Barry still chasing that school points record, and he has just 2 points this second half with 11 on the game.
That's right. So he's 7 shy of breaking Richie Hamill's record. And after another tip out of bounds, the Broncos finally get it in to Barry. And there was a held jersey, but no foul called on the Bulldogs. Barry going to drive to the hoop, gets fouled, and he'll go to the line for 2.
So Larry Barry doing what he does so well, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, driving in the lane, elevating and drawing the contact. Didn't get the bucket anywhere close to falling as he was fouled hard on top of the ball, so he'll go to the line for 2.
Barry, very good free throw shooter at 79% on the year. And Roddy Richardson talking to the referee. I'm not sure what about. But either way, referee not happy with Roddy, it looks like. And now 2 shots for Barry. He is one of the better free throw shooters in the conference. First one is up and good. Had a weird spin on it, but it still went, thankfully.
Substitution for the Bulldogs, Kirk Weathers comes into this game. He replaces Runyon, the 6'5" senior, who has 3 fouls in this game now.
Barry now lines up for a second free throw. It is up and good. Once again, a weird spin on the ball, but it went anyway. And that'll cut the Brownsburg lead to 45-40, and I'm sure Brownsburg will look to slow it down, give a really long possession here. Nibs going to cross the half-court line, guarded by Richardson. That's Rashad Richardson, the sophomore. Over to Whetstone. Whetstone to Eldridge, a cutting Eldridge. Eldridge up and no good. Rebounded by Roddy Richardson. They're going to get a foul, and that's a good foul on the rebound on Eldridge.
Good rebound there by Roddy Richardson. They really needed that rebound there.
That's the second on Whetstone, or second on Eldridge. That's the 4th team foul this half. Broncos have possession. Courtney Walden gets it into Barry. Broncos trail by 5. Barry going to force the tempo here. He's going to get fouled by number 34, Scott Hathaway. So after no fouls in the first about 3.5 minutes, now 5 fouls on the Brownsburg Bulldogs. That's on the floor, and they're not even in the bonus yet, so the Broncos will be inbounding the ball. And the referee talking with Coach Kendrick as he was not happy with that call. Now they're going to double Jesse off the inbound again, as they have all night, or at least since the first quarter. Barry going to get another foul. And wow, that was good acting by Barry, as he kind of reacted a lot to little contact.
Like we've been saying this whole game, Jesse Barry loves to draw the foul and try and get to the free throw line as often as possible.
And that's the third foul and second consecutive foul on Eldridge, so number 22, Levi Roach, will come into the game for him.
The Bulldogs have been double-teaming Barry throughout most of this game, and Barry has just recently gotten aggressive enough to attack that double team and draw the contact, and that's where you see that foul come from.
Roddy off the inbound gets into Colin Belting. They're going to call a charge on Colin Belting. And after many fouls by the Brownsburg Bulldogs, the Broncos are going to get a shot of that possession. So a charge on Belting, that's his third, as both teams now have 6 fouls. So from here on out, both teams will be in the bonus.
That was a really missed opportunity by the Broncos there. They could have really used a score there to get the momentum shifted their way.
That's right. Now, inbound by Runyon, as he has just checked back into the game. Nibbs will jog the ball to court. He's met by Rashad Richardson. Gets it off to Runyon, guarded by Belting. Runyon back to Whetstone, over to Nibbs. Nibbs, the leading scorer for the Bulldogs on the season, is guarded by Rashad Richardson. He gets a pick from Runyon. He pulls up, and it's blocked by Colin Belting. Great block by Colin. And now Rashad Richardson brings the ball up the court. Rashad going to drive into the lane, goes up. Highly contested shot, but it goes. And that cuts the lead to 45-42. And really early, we talked about this game potentially being a blowout, but now we'd just be happy to get a win, trailing by 3, 2:30 to go in the third quarter.
Absolutely.
Nibbs, as a Brownsburg player, goes flying into the cheerleading section. No foul called as Nibbs gets the basketball. He's going to pull up into the lane. No good. Fight for the rebound, and they're going to call a foul. And now a little bit of contact there, Nibbs and Belting, but they're going to call a foul on Runyon. A lot of contact there.
Great board by Colin Belting there. Only 6 feet going against a 6'2",
6'5" Runyon.
6'5" Runyon.
And that's his 4th foul, so I'm sure he'll sit for a while. And just showed great fight, did Colin. Now he'll go to the line for a 1-and-1 as Runyon will take a seat.
Runyon with 4 fouls now. They're going to have to watch that. As you mentioned throughout the broadcast, he is their leading rebounder.
Colin, not a very good free throw shooter on the year. I believe he's under 50%, but hopefully he'll be able to hit both shots here. Hopefully, at least he'll be able to hit the front end of the 1-and-1. First one up and good. That's something he's worked on in practice, I know, because he's not happy with his, I believe at one time, 37% free throw average. So he really wanted to work on that and hits his first. That cuts the deficit to 2 points. 45-43 is his score, and Belting hits the second one. And Eldridge will come back into the game. He replaces Whetstone. A lot of substitutions by Coach Kendrick, getting fresh bodies into this game. Also, R.J. Layton into the game for the Broncos. Layton, a 5'7" junior, known for his defense. He will replace Courtney Walden. Now, Eldridge going to be inbounding the ball. A little bit of full court pressure put on by Rashad Richardson. And now Barry will meet Eldridge at midcourt. 45-44 is your score. Broncos trail the 5-13 Bulldogs. Roach over to Eldridge, guarded by Barry. Back to Nibbs. Nibbs over to Paddock. Paddock back to Roach. Roach thought about the shot. Gets it back to Eldridge, who will reset the offense. Eldridge over to number 34. That's Hathaway. Hathaway back to Nibbs. Nibbs to Eldridge. And a lot of contact there. No foul. Eldridge couldn't hit the 10-foot jumper. And then the rebound, and Eldridge with the putback. A lot of contact by R.J. Layton. Was holding the jersey, but no foul called on either team. And now the score is 47-44, minute 35 to go in the third quarter.
I really think Coach Scott Bunnell was looking for a defensive stop there.
Barry going to drive to the lane. No good is the layup. Rebounded by the Bulldogs. Paddock gets the pass in transition and scores. He got the rebound, ran up the court, and scored. 49-44 now, back to a 5-point lead. Brownsburg would love to pull this upset. Rowdy, who's been a non-factor today, throws it away. No, they call it travel. How do they call it travel on that? There was a lot of contact there, but a turnover either way. So now Nick Stacy will come back into the game, and he'll come in for RJ.
It looks like the Broncos are trying to force shots and trying to get the ball to the basket, but it's really not working out for him right now.
Brownsburg has just played a great game. Jeff has played a terrible game. And that's not a stat you see in basketball, time of possession, but I'm sure time of possession greatly favors the Bulldogs. Now Roach over to Paddock. Paddock back to Hathaway. Hathaway inside to Eldridge. Eldridge misses a lay-in, no good. Fight for the rebound, and they're going to call a jump ball. Brownsburg will have possession, and they lead 49-44, 50.6 seconds to go, and it's going to take a great fourth quarter effort for the Broncos to win this game. Whetstone will come back into the game. Whetstone is a 6'2 sophomore, and he replaces Paddock.
The Broncos trail by 5 in this one, but the way the Bulldogs like to hold on to the ball, 5 points could take a while for the Broncos to score.
That's right. So now, Coach Kendrick's going to take a full timeout for the Bulldogs, and we'll go ahead and take it with them. We'll take a 1-minute break and be back. You're listening to Bronco Basketball, and Jeff Knight. Brownsburg has possession. I thought that was after a foul or something like that. They get the inbound to Eldridge, guarded by Barry. Back to Roach, who's guarded by Nick Stacy. Heavy pressure now over to Whetstone, who's guarded by Belting in front of us. Now Nibs near midcourt. And maybe the Bulldogs will hold for one. Never mind, as Nibs drives right to the basket, and that ties the largest lead of the game for the Bulldogs. 30 seconds to go. Barry going to drive to the lane. A lot of contact, misses a layup. And he has struggled heavily tonight. Nibs up the floor. Nibs going to drive around. Stacy goes up and is fouled. Travel. Oh, it's a good thing they called that, because a 9-point deficit going into the fourth quarter is not something the Broncos wanted. And they already trail by 7 against Brownsburg. Now we've got another substitution, DJ.
Number 12, Kyle Clifton for the Bulldogs, replacing number 22, Levi Roach.
Broncos have possession. Nick Stacy in to Barry. Barry double team. A lot of contact. They're going to get a foul. So Barry will go to the line for a 1-on-1 situation. They've done a great job pressuring Barry since the first quarter.
Foul number 30, Torrey Nibs. That's his second.
Team's 8. So Barry will go to the line for 1 in the bonus with 21 seconds to go in the third quarter. Jesse with 11 points on the night. He is 7 shy of breaking the school record. And with this free throw, he can make it 6 shy, and he hits the front end of the 1-and-1. And so he'll have a second.
20 seconds left in the third quarter, hoping for a hot fourth quarter for the Broncos.
51-45 as he misses the second free throw as your score. And he fell to the floor, number 34, Scott Hathaway fell to the floor on the rebound, called for a travel. So the Broncos get possession with 19.9 seconds to go. And this could be a key possession for the Broncos if they could score here and cut the deficit to either 4 or 3. Oh, great pass by Nick Stacy. Off the back of a Brownsburg player, got it and laid it in. Wow. And now the alley-oop is good by number 34, Scott Hathaway. Broncos are going to want to get the ball up quickly. 7 seconds to go now. 53-47 is your score in the third quarter. Roddy going to drive to the hoop, lays it in, and now give them the momentum going to the fourth quarter. Going to the fourth quarter. Your score, Brownsburg 53, Jeff 49. We'll take a 1-minute break and be back. You're listening to Bronco Basketball. Jeff Knight, Stacy to start the fourth quarter. Stacy is going to be met at half court by Eldridge. Jacob Eldridge wears a face mask. I'm assuming he has something like a broken nose. Stacy going to spin around. Bad pass as he looks for Jason Washington and picked off by Nibs. That's not the possession the Broncos want to start the fourth quarter. Nibs over to 34, Hathaway. Hathaway to Clifton. Clifton back to Whetstone. Whetstone guarded by Washington. Back off to Nibs. Now to Clifton. Clifton in front of the Brownsburg bench. Gets it back to Hathaway. Hathaway guarded closely by Nick Stacy. Gets it over to Whetstone. Whetstone thought about the 3. Now pass it inside and tipped and stolen by Roddy Richardson. Roddy quickly up the floor. You might want to slow it down. It's 1-on-4. Misses. Rebounded by Jason Washington. Kicks it back out. Rashad Richards thought about the 3. Now he's going to drive it in the lane and is fouled. So we'll have a 1-on-1 situation. And DJ some subs about to come into the game.
Number 22, Levi Roach, into the game, and number 14, Kirk Weathers, into the Bulldogs.
So now with 19 fouls, Rashad Richardson will be shooting 1 in the bonus. He's 1 for 2 from the line tonight. Normally a very good free throw shooter. He is at 83% on the year and hits a free throw. It almost ruled out. That's a crucial free throw. The Broncos have to hit front ends of 1-and-1.
Well, it brings it to a one-possession lead for the Brownsburg Bulldogs, 53-50 your score, 7:14 left in this game.
And now Rashad can cut the deficit to 2. Broncos trail by as many as 7 in the third quarter, and he hits that one there. It's a 53-51 your score, 7:12 to go. And Nibs is met at half court by Rashad Richardson. Rashad guarding Nibs closely. Nibs wears number 30, and a bad pass. Pass it to Coach Kendrick, for Josh Kendrick, and now Brownsburg's going to get a timeout as Nibs just got a bad cut, and now the bench for the Broncos will meet the Broncos out on the court as they played quite well, along with Jade Washburn and DJ Witteveen. Broncos will have possession right in front of us. 53-51 is your score. Broncos trail to 5-13 with and 1-7 in the conference Bulldogs. Barry gets the inbound. He's met by a double team, gets it off to Roddy Richardson, who's been a non-factor tonight. Roddy sets up the offense. He's guarded by Roach. Now he's going to drive to the lane, kicks out Barry. Barry thought about the 3. Now he's going to drive baseline, goes up, scores. Now he's got 14 points. Just 4 shy of breaking the school record. That ties the game at 53. More importantly, ties the game at 53. 14 points now for Barry. Nibs. And a lot of pressure there, almost stolen by Barry. Back to number 14, Kirk Weathers. Weathers now to Eldridge. Eldridge and Barry actually has 17 points on the night, so he is just one shy of breaking the school record. We were wrong with our point total there. Weathers holds the basketball now. With the next point Barry scores, he will break Richie Hamill's school record. Roach, guarded closely by Stacy. Long possession here as they look to get good ball movement by the Bulldogs. Nibs over to 14, Weathers. Weathers back to Eldridge. Eldridge going to drive in the lane. Goes up. No good. Fight for the rebound. And they dive on the floor. It's going to be a timeout, Brownsburg. How'd they get a timeout? Did they have possession? We couldn't see from here. I guess they did have possession. And I believe that's Brownsburg's last timeout. That's their full timeout. I'm not sure how many they have left. We'll go ahead and keep it here after the final timeout by Brownsburg. They have They have possession of the basket. Now Runyon into the game scores, and that Chris Runyon gives the Bulldogs a 2-point advantage. Barry with the basketball. He spins around, goes up, and that is it. That is it. He has just broken the school record for points. We'd like to congratulate Jesse Barry as Nibs quickly back up the floor. Nibs kicks it out to Weathers. Now back to Eldridge. Fans wanted to travel, and Eldridge is fouled. He'll go to the line 4-2, and Jesse Barry has just broken Richie Hamill's school record for points. Foul is on Rashad Richardson, his second, team 7th. Eldridge will go to the line for 2. We're tied at 55, 5:25 to go.
During the next dead ball timeout, Omar Masudi will make the official announcement through the loudspeakers, and I anticipate the crowd will get on their feet and cheer for their Broncos.
Well, he has not made the announcement yet. Maybe it wasn't the actual. I mean, we don't have official stats, but. And as you heard Mr. Masudi, he has broken the school record for points. Very exciting to see, as now the second free throw is good by Eldridge. So that gives the Bulldogs a 2-point advantage. Barry with 19 points on the night. Now 6 points in his career. Broncos will have possession after a tip out of bounds, 5:17 to go. And he's just a few points shy of breaking the Tippecanoe New County record now. And Rashad gets it into his brother Roddy. Roddy kicks out to Nick Stacy. Stacy for 3. A huge three for Nick Stacy. Stacy gives the Broncos a 1-point advantage, their first lead in a while. 58-57 your score now. And that gets the crowd excited after hearing the announcement from Barry and retaking the lead. This crowd is pretty excited right now. Now Eldridge over to Nibs. Nibs back to 14. Weathers back to 34. That's Hathaway. Roddy went for the steal. Now gets to a wide open Weathers, who scores. 4:45 to go. And now Barry up the court. He drives baseline, double team. Scores 19 points on the night, dribbling between his legs. He's double teamed on the baseline, and he's going to get fouled. He'll go to the line for 2 as that puts the Broncos in a double bonus. And right now we've seen the Broncos student section really diminish right now as a lot of the fans have gone to the lip sync. And that's disappointing to see, as we have a really good game going right now. So now with the team's 10th foul, 4th foul on Weathers, Barry will go to the line for 2. And he is a 79% free throw shooter. 59-58 your score. Brownsburg hanging tough as the ref waits for Coach Walden to step away from the players, as Coach Walden was giving instructions to his players. So now Barry will get the ball, an opportunity to tie the game with this first free throw. It is up, and it is good. So that ties the game at 59 now.
Substitutions into this game. Alan Paddock, 6'3" junior for the Brownsburg Bulldogs, and number 44, Runyon, a 6'5" senior for the Bulldogs. Runyon has 4 fouls in this game, so he'll have to play disciplined defense so he can't foul out.
Now the second free throw is good by Barry, and that gives him 21 points on the night, and the Broncos lead 60-59. Nib's going to walk the ball to the court. 4.5 minutes to go in this game. 60-59 just scored. Nibs with the basketball guarded by Rashad Richardson. Gets it over. It's stolen by Roddy Richardson. Roddy on the fast break. He's going to go up, lays it in. No, but he got fouled, so he'll have an opportunity for 2 free throws at the line. Almost an opportunity for a 3-point play on the fast break there.
Great steal by Roddy coming over the backside of the Bulldogs player. Great job drawing the foul there.
That's right, on the fast break. And so now he'll have 2 free throws. Hopefully he'll be able to hit both of them, extend the Bronco lead to 3. The Bronco lead is 1 right now. And the first free throw is up, and it rims out. In the lineup is Roach. Levi Roach is a 6'1" senior. He replaces Alan Paddock. So now Richardson, Roddy Richardson, that is, with another opportunity at the free throw line. It is up and good. So that extends the Bronco lead to 2, 61-59. Broncos have not played that well tonight, but I think also you could, give Brownsburg a lot of credit. They played really well tonight.
Despite a slow second half, Jesse Berry still has 21 points for the Broncos.
Yeah, just 2 shy of his season average. Elder's going to drive into the lane, kicks it out. That's a 3 for Roach, no good. And no, it tipped back in, tipped off the backboard and back in. That gives the lead back to the Bulldogs. Roddy quickly in transition, almost loses the ball out of bounds. He gets it back to Rashad Richardson. Rashad, closely guarded by Hathaway. Now he's going to drive into the lane, goes up, no good. Rebound by Nibs. Under 4 minutes now, 62-61. Brownsburg has the lead. And if Brownsburg could pull away with this victory, that would be a huge damper in the Broncos' winning streak, as they would no longer have a chance to win the HCC. And now, Nibs on the right wing, guarded by Richardson. Over to number 24, Reagan, and now out of bounds. So an out of bounds call, and the Broncos will have possession. Was it a foul or was it an out of bounds?
They're just going to call it out of bounds.
Okay. No foul on the Bulldogs, but the Broncos do get possession. 62-61 now, crunch time now, and we'll see what Barry does. I'm sure he'll want to have the ball in his hands. It gets it stolen by Eldridge. Eldridge up the floor quickly now. Eldridge gets off to Nibs. Nibs takes a dribble and lays it in. 64-61 now. 3:05 to go. Rashad Richardson up the floor, and now he's guarded. Gets it into the corner to Roddy Richardson. Roddy for 3, no. And that's rebounded by Roach. That's a big missed 3 by the Broncos. Close defense now. Roddy went for the steal on Eldridge. Eldridge gets it to Roach. Roach drives right into the lane, gets it swatted. And they're going to call a foul on Washington. How can you call that a foul? It was all ball, but a foul called anyway, and there'll be 2 free throws upcoming for Roach. So now 64-61 is your score. Broncos, after taking a 61-51 lead, or 61-59 lead, the Bulldogs have gone on a 5-0 run, and Roach at the line with the opportunity to extend that lead. Makes the first free throw. Got a shooter's roll there, and that extends the lead to 65-61.
He's really getting some lucky spins on these shots. He just had that 3 that seemed to be going out, but came back in somehow.
So now Roach with an opportunity to extend the Bulldog lead to 6. Up and good. Substitution, Alan Paddock. Broncos cannot afford to lose this game. It would be huge for Brownsburg to get this upset win on the road over a top team in the HCC. Their only win in the HCC is against Harris, and that was a 5-point win. Now Roddy going to drive to the lane, goes up and scores. A lot of contact there. Roddy Richardson with the basket, cuts the lead to 66-63. And now gets up the floor to Roach. Roach to Paddock. Paddock looks to get to Nibs and will. He's double teamed. and they look to get a steal. They can't call a timeout. Finally, they get it on the baseline to Hathaway, and now Paddock with the layup. That extends the lead to 5. Roddy Richardson up to Barry. Barry gets fouled and pushed hard into the Bronco bench. He was not shooting. However, he will have two shots anyway. It's foul on Scott Hathaway, his 4th. And team's got more than 10. So either way, it'll be a double bonus. Barry going to have to hit free throws down the stretch. Just 2:07 to go. Broncos trail by 5. And what would really be a big upset for the Bulldogs here. Barry at the line. He has 21 points on the night. Make it 22 as he hits his first free throw. Runyon. Sorry, where are you going?
I was just going to say with this loss, I mean, the Broncos can't afford this loss. This would devastate their season, you know, hunting for a conference title. And they would only have one more game against HSC to go for it, but it's all for nothing if they can't pull it out here tonight at Solly Center.
In for the Broncos, number 30, Colin Bolting, as Jesse Berry hits his second free throw.
Also Runyon in for the Bulldogs. A 30-second timeout taken by Coach Funnell, 68-65, 55 your score. The most points Brownsburg scored this season is 72 in a win earlier this season over Plainfield. The inbound to Eldridge. Broncos might end up having to foul as there's no shot clock in high school basketball. Under 2 minutes now. Roach going to drive right to the hoop, kicks it out to Runyon. He travels. Big turnover as he kicks it out to Runyon, and the Broncos lose possession. That's a big turnover.
Let's see if the Broncos can capitalize on this turnover in the final 2 minutes.
Definitely. So now Stacy will set to inbound the ball as they're going to get some pressure in the backcourt. They're doubling Jesse Berry right now as Roddy Richardson, with no pressure, gets the basketball. He's met by Eldridge near half court. 1:50 to go. And the senior drives in the lane. Blocking foul. And Richardson will have an opportunity for 2 free throws. They're in the double bonus, so 2 free throws for every defensive foul by the Bulldogs from here on out. That's the 4th foul on number 20, Jacob Eldridge. He's a 6-foot senior, really been a key component of the Bulldogs' night tonight. So now, the first free throw is up and good by Roddy Richardson. Runyon is in for Kirk Weathers. The lineup for the Broncos is Beltink, both Richardsons, Jesse Berry, and Nick Stacy. As they'll line up for Richardson, will line up for his second free throw. It is up and is good. So Broncos have done a good job of hitting free throws down the stretch here. They still trail by 1, though. Heavy pressure put on by the Broncos. Eldridge gets it in to Roach. Heavy pressure in the corner as they use that baseline as the second defender.
All the players in the backcourt now.
Nibs gets it stolen. They call a foul, though. Nibs drove up the floor, got it stolen, but they call a foul, and he is hurt on the play. So Nibs is down with looks like an upper arm or a shoulder injury, and the foul is on Barry. That's his first, team's 9th. Hopefully Nibs is okay here.
He's writhing in pain on the floor. He's helped up by Barry and Roddy Richardson of the Broncos.
Good sportsmanship. Yeah. So it looks like he'll be okay, and he'll be able to take his free throws. And with a sore shoulder, that we'll see how Nibs executes his free throws. 68-67 is your score. 1:39 to go. 1-and-1 situation for the Bulldogs as they lead in the Crowley Center. Sweet Lou, Jeff Luzatter helping with the cleanup effort on the floor. And now Nibs holding his shoulder as he's ready to shoot. And now Weathers back into the game, and he replaces Runyon. This is an offensive defense substitution as they like to have Runyon in on offensive possessions. Now, Crowley Center crowd going to have to get loud here. The Bulldog bench on their feet. The first end of a 1-and-1 is up and good by Nibs. Has ice in his veins, guys.
Clutch free throw there for Nibs.
He'll have another one. 69-67 your score. Broncos have not played very well tonight. They do have an opportunity to tie this game after this free throw, though, whether it's good or not. And now the second free throw by Nibs. Dribble takes his time. Brownsburg bench on its feet. It is up and it is short. Barely hits the rim. Broncos trail by 2. Barry with the basketball in his hands. That's something Bronco fans want to see, as he is now the leading scorer in Bronco program history. Barry inside. Oh, a turnover. Barry turned the ball over. Now Hathaway. Hathaway traveled. He was double teamed and traveled. A crucial turnover as the Bulldogs look to run some time off that clock. Broncos have possession again.
The Broncos really need to slow down. That was a crucial turnover there. They're lucky to get the ball back.
Stacy gets off to Roddy Richardson. Roddy dribbles, a minute 18 to go. Stacy going to pull up for three and hits. Nick Stacy with a huge three. That gives the Broncos a 1-point lead. Eldridge. Bulldogs have no timeouts. They cannot pick one. If they do, it'll be a technical foul. Eldridge with the basketball. Guarded closely by Stacy. Crowd on its feet now. A minute to play. 70-69. Great game here. Eldridge. Backdoor cut to Nib. And it's stolen by Rashad Richardson. Rashad Richardson at the floor. Now loses the ball, but is fouled. Eldridge has just fouled out of the game as Rashad Richardson in transition tried a fancy dribble. Almost got it stolen. And Eldridge has just fouled out of the game. He's arguing his case with the referee, but he has just fouled out.
Eldridge is the leading scorer on the night for the Bulldogs. I don't know how many he has. However, I know he is the leading scorer. And Rashad Richardson, the best free throw shooter on the team, will go to the line with 52.3 seconds left. Broncos cling to a 1-point lead, and Roddy Richardson will look to extend it.
In comes number 44.
Runyon will replace him. Wow. Nick Stacy with a huge three, and then the turnover at the other end. Turnovers have plagued the Bulldogs late. Some key traveling and some just, bad passes. Now Rashad Richardson with a double bonus. Up and good. Ice in his veins as a sophomore. And this is about as energetic as this Crawley Center has been all season in what really should have been a blowout. I hate to say it, but this game probably should have been a blowout. But Brownsburg has played just a tremendous game as Rashad hits his second free throw.
Two clutch free throws right there by the sophomore, Rashad Richardson.
So number 40, Tyler Whetstone, will come in for number 14, Kirk Weathers, as well as number 12, Kyle Clifton, will come in for Roach. 3-point game here, 72-69. And guys, this was the score of the game a couple years ago where the Broncos won the HCC against Brownsburg.
That's correct.
That Brownsburg team ended up winning the state championship. They get a 5-second call. They had no timeouts. They couldn't get the inbound in and a 5-second call. Some more turnovers, and that gets this Broncos crowd quite excited. They could not call a turnover.
Well, that was incredibly smart defense set up by Coach Bunnell for the Jefferson Broncos as he takes a 30-second timeout in this game. A full timeout, but we'll go ahead and keep it here. The Bulldogs could not take a timeout as they are out of them. They expired their last one.
Played very well. Give credit to the Bulldogs. They played, in my opinion, now Nick Stacy's going to try to get the inbound. Gets it into Colin Belting. Colin misses a layup. Why did he take the shot? And now they're going to call a charge. Another turnover. Colin Belting takes a charge. Wow, off the rebound by Runyon. So many mistakes by this Brownsburg team. Wow.
Runyon has fouled out.
So Runyon, the second Brownsburg Bulldog to foul out, but this is the first time I've seen the Bulldogs all year, but I'm assuming that this is the best game they've played all season.
Colin Belting really took a shot to the face there. Bunyan rebounded that ball with authority and threw some elbows and really struck Colin Belting in the face.
Just such terrible ball handling by the Bulldogs. Not a clutch performance by the Bulldogs. The inbound to Roddy, gets it back to Nick. Now that Jesse is going to set up the offense. Jesse is going to get fouled. And the Bulldogs have turned it over on something like 5 straight possessions after having a lot of chances to win this game. So Barry, and now that's the 5th foul. And Omar Masudi is screaming at the ref that that's 5 fouls. That's the third Bulldog to foul out. A little bit of confusion. He's saying that's 5 fouls, he's saying. And so now we'll get a substitution here. A lot of confusion here.
Well, Omar Masudi's trying to sort it out with the referees. Meanwhile, Coach Kendrick of the Bulldogs is taking a valuable opportunity to discuss with his team that he wouldn't have otherwise, as the Bulldogs have no timeouts left.
So now after the 5th foul on Weathers, that's the 3rd Bulldog to foul out. And now 41.6 seconds to go in this game. Jesse Berry will be at the line shooting 2. So the referee is talking with Omar Masudi now about the foul situation.
Little miscommunication there. The number 14 for the Bulldogs just fouled out, Kirk Weathers.
So now Barry with 2 free throws and hits he misses it. In and out. Jinx hits. So now, hopefully Barry can hit this free throw and extend the Bronco lead to 4 points.
Make it a 2-possession game if Jesse hits his free throw.
Barry, 79% on the year, hits the second free throw. I almost spoke too soon. 4-point lead. Now Nibbs up the floor. Nibbs quickly. Now he's going to drive into the lane, and they're going to call a foul. They're going to call a foul on Rashad Richardson, it looks like. They almost lost out of bounds for what would have been another crucial turnover. I'm really anxious to see the turnover statistics by the Bulldogs in the second half. So that's the 10th team foul on the Broncos, 3rd on Richardson. So Nibbs will be at the line shooting 2. 73-69 your score. And
another moment of confusion here.
There will be 2 free throws by Nibbs.
Not sure what the referees were discussing, but whatever it was, they have it sorted out, so Nibbs will take his shots now.
So now Nibbs lines up for his first free throw. 73-69 is the score. Up, high arcing free throw, no good. That didn't look good from the time it was released from his hands. Now he's going to have to make this one to just cut the lead to 3. Broncos will have to be careful, though, on this next inbound. Roddy Richards trying to get this crowd to get excited. And it's pretty loud here in the Crawley Center right now. So now Nibbs will take his time. Nibbs, second free throw, good. And now we're going to have a substitution. Paddock's going to come in. Alan Paddock, a 6'3 senior, will come in for Kyle Clifton. So now the Broncos lead 73-70. We'll try to inbound it. Stacy going to get it quickly into Roddy Richardson. Nibbs trying to foul Richardson. Still no foul called. Roddy going to drive right to the hoop, loses the ball, but is fouled. And he'll go to the line for 2 now, 31.7 seconds to go. Not the best free throw shooter on the season. As we look at the season box score, Roddy is at just, let's see, 66% from the line coming into this game. But hopefully he'll be able to hit some free throws here. Not the best on the team, but not the worst on the team either.
Roddy hit 2 crucial free throws earlier in the fourth quarter, actually.
And he hits another one as Roddy Richardson makes his first shot, extending the lead to 2 possessions, 74-70 for the Broncos. And now a substitution into the game. Hathaway re-enters the game for Alan Paddock.
Well, Clifton into the game.
Or Clifton, excuse me.
So now the second free throw is up and no good. 4-point lead. Rebounded now up to Nibbs. Under 30 seconds now. Nibbs into the corner to Clifton. Clifton thought about the 3, gets back to Nibbs. Nibbs going to take a 3 and hit. That cuts it up to 1. Clock is running. 20 seconds to go. 74-73. Gets it into Barry. Did they call a foul on Barry? Did they just call a foul on Barry? I believe they did.
They called a foul on Jesse Barry, and
they're going to call a charge on Jesse Barry. 74-73 is your score. 16.7 seconds to go, and Clifton will be shooting free throws. No, that's a charge. That's not a shooting foul, or that's an offensive foul.
It's an offensive foul. Yeah, there's no free throws here.
Even though the Bulldogs are in double bonus. No, that's an offensive foul. He cannot be shooting free throws. How can they call that?
They got to get this sorted out. If this takes place, that's
an offensive foul. Clifton at the line.
I don't understand this. I mean, unless they called a loose ball foul as the ball was in the air.
All right, that's what it must have been. Clifton misses the first free throw. And now, 74-73, he'll have one more free throw. The whole bench reminding the Broncos to block out. If he hits this free throw, we'll be tied with 16.7 seconds to go. And now, Clifton, a 6-foot senior, has not played a lot tonight. Well, he has played a lot tonight, but I don't believe he's scored. Crowd getting loud. Crucial free throw. It is up. No good. Barry with the rebound. Barry with the rebound, and he'll be fouled.
No, he won't.
No, he will be.
Well, confusion there.
The clock's still running. The clock's still running.
I thought they called no foul there, and Rashad Richardson was hoping at the other side.
There's been a lot of miscommunication lately by these referees as the clock was running. There was 16.7 seconds to go when Barry got the rebound.
I still want to know what happened on that inbound play. It had to have been a loose ball foul that was called on Barry, but I don't understand it because the foul was indicated by the referees when the ball was in his hand and the Brownsburg player fell to the floor.
Really, that was a missed opportunity for the Bulldogs. They could have capitalized and even taken the lead there.
Well, now the referees are going to have to sort this out. The referees are asking both coaches to come to center floor, and really miscommunication. It's not like college or pros where we have video monitors to tell exactly how much time there was when the foul was committed as the clock ran a little bit after the foul. So 10.2 is shown on the clock right now. He's saying, no, there's no way there. And now they set 20 seconds on the clock. How can it be 20 seconds? How can it be 20 seconds? There was 16.7 seconds when Clifton was shooting those free throws. So many miscommunications in these last few minutes, it seems like. Both coaches not happy at all.
Well, Omar Masudi calling over the score that needs to be 12.2, and I believe that was the indication by referee Joe Bauer, and that's what will be put on the clock now, if I'm correct.
12.2 seconds.
That's what it should be, at least.
Mr. Masudi going to get up and physically walk over to the official to tell him 12.2. He's been yelling a lot lately, whether it comes, from notifying the rest of the...
Now they have it right. 12.2 is shown on the scoreboard as the time left in the fourth quarter. 74-73, the Broncos lead by 1. And Jesse Berry is at the free throw line right now, looking to extend that lead.
I'm surprised no technical fouls have been issued to either coach. Both coaches are just livid with the referees in this situation, and understandably, because there's been a lot of miscommunication. And now Berry at the line to shoot 2. Got to make these free throws. Crawley Center silent until that, but he hits the free throw to extend the lead to 75-73. Now another substitution. Number 10 getting his first action, Taylor Shields, a 5'11 sophomore who will replace Roach.
A lot of sophomores in this Bulldogs lineup.
That's right. And now Berry with an opportunity to extend the Bronco lead to 3 points. 75-73 is the score, 12.2 seconds to go. Broncos lead Brownsburg here. Brownsburg just 5-13 on the year, but has played one of their best games of the season. Berry hits the second free throw. That extends the lead to 3. Brownsburg has no timeouts. Niz loses the ball. It's going to be tipped out by Rashad Richardson, though. It was tipped out by the foot of Rashad Richardson. So 10.6 seconds to go. 76-73 your score. Weathers looks to inbound it. Gets it to Niz. Niz guarded by Rashad Richardson. Niz going to pull up from 3. It is no good. Rebounded by Roddy Richardson. Roddy throws it up high into the air. Great play, and this game is over. The Broncos